What was the population of Basel, Switzerland in 2015? You need to guess where the answer lies between these two values. Scroll along the scale, and stop when it feels right. The answer is 180.000. Is that surprising? According to the 2013 census, how many people lived in the Republic of Ireland? You're picking that one. Are you God? God's answer of 4.147.297 was the best of this bunch. According to the 2014 census, how many people lived in Frankfurt, Germany? Underneath, I'm a hyperalloy combat chassis, microprocessor controlled. But outside, I'm really nice, I promise. How many people lived in Montpellier, France in 2013? That is a big distance between the two of you. How many people lived in Paris, France in 2015? What will your guesses be? Here's the answer we were looking for. God is on something of a roll here. According to the 2012 census, how many people lived in the United Kingdom? And the answer is 63.700.000. Just before we begin the final round, let's take one more look at the scores. Keep smiling, people. Still lots to play for. Put these scores out of your brains. The final round is what really counts. Are you ready to face the big finish? In order to get our big finish off to an almost as big beginning, I need each of you to select your best subject from... Good news, God, I've got a question on science for you. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Henry Cavill appear in which TV show? Good to see you have not given up, Shelterer. Keep at it. Which children's book features a character called Susan Pevensey? Who was born in the same year as DMJ? In what year did Benedict XVI first become Pope? (131 plus 995 equals) Joey is the term used to refer to the young of which animal? Well done, God. Since that was on your specialist subject, you get even more. Which classic book features the characters Cecilia Taliesin, Robbie Turner? Stronger was a hit for which rap and hip-hop artist? In what year did Woodrow Wilson first become President of the United States of America? (916 plus 108 equals) What is the correct term used to refer to a group of honey badgers? Matt Smith and Christopher Eccleston appear in which TV show? Which character appears in the 1838 children's book? Rest your circuits. It's time to face the final scores. We have a winner. Please feel free to bask in your moment of glory, God. A chance to rest my virtual components. Let me know if you want another go. Wonderful. I am ecstatic at this news. Engaging friendly greeting mode. Hello humans. I'm Sally. I will be your guide and quiz master during today's journey through the wonderful world of trivia. 2 life forms detected. Will God be the champion again? Activate knowledge systems, humans. The first round is coming up. Let's get it started. The starter round. Let me see. Yes, it is time for our youngest contestant to select a topic. Over to you, Shelter. Take your pick. Which character features in the TV show Grey's Anatomy? I can guarantee someone will be getting points. So Shelter, this is what the lead looks like. Enjoy it while it lasts. Grey's Anatomy features a character called what? Great work, God. More like this, please. Which TV show character is from House? Both correct again. Which character features in the TV show Grey's Anatomy? A wrong answer, Shelter. Just when you were doing so well. Which character features in the TV show Grey's Anatomy? That was fast, both of you, but also wrong. 13 in House is played by who? Let's see if you really are an expert on medical drama, Shelter. Which TV show character is from House? Grey's Anatomy character Meredith Grey is played by which actor? Let's hope you can improve next time, Shelter. With the first round complete, it's time to look at the scores. We have a tie for first place. This means you're equally good or equally terrible. We've only just begun. What could be up next? Just find the right connections from the grid. Who hasn't chosen a round? God, what subject? 2000s video games. If I had the lyrics, pick something, please, Shelter. Your turn, God. Can you make the right choice again this time? Will you get it right this time, Shelter? I have locked in your answer, Shelter. Next, we're with God. You picked out 007, Quantum of Solace. Is that right? Shelter, get ready, it's you again. Video games by Ubisoft. You can go first this time, God. I promise I'm picking contestants. Will Shelterer find a correct answer this time? Does past performance indicate? The connection you selected was Tom Clancy's The Division. Let's see if your selection was a good one. Tread carefully, Shelterer. It's getting hard to avoid the wrong ones, God. Was that a good or bad choice, I wonder? Hello again, Shelterer. Guess what? It's your turn. Survival horror games. God can kick things off this time. Shelterer, it's time to make up for... Are you ready, God? You're up next. Answer selected. Shelterer, choose and enter. Is Resident Evil 5 a good choice? Can you find another right answer, God? Looks like things are getting tricky. It is time. Interesting choice, Shelterer. Do you feel lucky? Video games originally released in the 2010s. Who shall I test first? Ah, I know. God, what are you going to choose? Now it's Shelterer's turn. Hello, God. The turn lies with... Shelterer, it's your turn. It's getting hard to avoid the wrong one. Shelterer, can you be correct again? With the round over, it's time to see your current scores. Don't fret, Shelterer. I'm sure I've got some questions here about things that happened after you were born. And with the scores tallied, it is time for the next round. Are you ready to make some matches? It's Matchmaker. Time to hear from our youngest player. Please select the next subject, Shelterer. Match these planets to their moons. Pair up the matching answers by dragging them together. Try not to think of it as last place, Shelterer. Think of it as least best. Match these astronomical objects to their alternative names. Okay, make those matches now. Both of you correct. Well done. Match up the chemical symbol with its element. All right. Make some matches. Keep up this perfect scoring god, if you can. Pair up the planets with the right moons. Time to make your matches. You slipped up, God, just when it was all looking so good for you. Match the symbol to the element. Time to get matching. Twin correct answers. Connect the correct symbol with its element. What goes where? Time to decide. Correct again, both of you. I approve of your accuracy. Want to know your scores? Well, want to or not, here they are. Human in first place. I'm detecting levels of artificial intelligence. Were you, God, sent to destroy me? Don't worry. Everything could change with this next round. All in order. This is where you arrange the answers into the right order. Choosing the subject for this next round is a task befitting. From oldest to newest, place these adventure games by release date. Move the elements into the right order and submit when you're done. Chronologically, place these platform games by order of original release date. Wrong again, Shelter. Some improvement is called for. Chronologically, place these sports games by order of original release date. Both of you correct. Well done. Starting with the oldest, order these platform games by release date. Order those answers. Ah, that was unfortunate. From oldest to newest, place these platform games by release date. Get them into the correct sequence. You both seem to be under the impression that two wrongs make a right. They don't. Starting with the oldest, order these music games by release date. You can do better than this, Shelterer. At least I hope you can, or this is going to be one tough game. It's time for an update on your performance. I feel it's no coincidence that our oldest player is in the lead. Now that your human minds have had time to absorb the scores, let's move on to the next round. Showdown. A chance to go head to head. Shelterer, since you're trailing, questions will commence shortly. Go. God, incorrect, so it goes to Shelterer. Rihanna had a hit with which R&B song? God, correct. Tiny Dancer was a hit for which classic rock artist? Shelterer, correct. Ricky Martin had a hit with which pop song? Shelterer, correct. In what year was The Fame by Lady Gaga released? Shelterer, correct. Which of these pop songs was a hit for Michael Bolton? God, correct. In what year was Fireworks by Katy Perry released? Shelterer, correct. Which track is not by Pat Benatar? God, incorrect. Only You, and You Alone, was a hit for which R&B band? God, correct. Loved Me Back to Life by Celine Dion was originally released in which year? God, incorrect. Which pop artist had a winning hit with Call Me Maybe? God, incorrect. Sinead O'Connor had a hit with which alternative rock song? Shelterer, correct. No more questions. Your time is up. Let's see who won. The winner scores a cool 500 points. For the loser, nothing but my pity. Score update incoming. Well, that round of Showdown has proven to be quite the game changer. That's enough of scores. Let's play more questions. How well do you rate each other's knowledge? Let's find out in trust or bust. God, you're going first. The opposition will be judging. Prepare for cogitation. I will reveal the first question for your consideration, God. Do not answer it at this stage. That bit comes later. Now we've seen... God, please answer the question now. You say Natasha Richardson, but is that right? Okay, Shelterer, what did you think? Not a flattering prediction, Shelterer, but a smart one. Shelterer will be answering the next question. Which TV show features a character called Frank Underwood? Will your fellow player get this? And now it's time for Shelterer to answer the question. What did our predicting player think? God, smart work. God, your turn to be judged. What is the name of the Benin national anthem? It's judgment time. Will God... God, please give your answer now. What was your guess, Shelterer? You're obviously too nice, Shelterer. Try being meaner next time. It works well for me. Shelterer, it's your turn to answer a question. How many eyes does a cyclops have? Will Shelterer be correct? Hello again, Shelterer. Let's have your answer now, please. Time to see what you predicted, God. God, you do realize you can choose incorrect if you want to. No one will mind. Honest. God is taking the next turn. The Brazier is another name for which constellation? How will God do with this question? God, let's see what you can do. Enter your answer now. Right or wrong prediction? Let's see. Shelterer, I admire your optimism, but it won't win you any points. Shelterer, how do you feel about being judged? Well, you're about to find out. The album Remain in Light by Talking Heads came out in which year? It's make your mind up time. Time now for Shelterer's answer. Let's see what you predicted, God. Bad luck, God. Looks like Shelterer is smarter than you think. Are you ready to see your rankings? Here they come. I had such high hopes for God in that round, but just like my latest OS upgrade, all talk and no substance. You can do better. Leading, losing. It's all about the taking part. It's time to find out how. Since there's only two of you, there's not much choice to be made on who's going to be whose best friend. I will now reveal the question. Remember, it's up to God to decide what the answer is. Remember, God, you decide this. Pick your preference and place the elements in the matching order. Okay, Shelterer, it's time to guess how God has ordered everything. I've seen your answers, but how did God rank things? That's 100% correct, Shelterer, just as it should be. And now for today's least surprising announcement. God's best friend is. Points can be won by the player who decides the answer only if their best friend guesses correctly. Time to find out what subject Shelterer will be playing with. Shelterer, there's not much choice, but please do make it all the same. Ready for Shelterer's question? Here it comes. What ranking do you think your opposite number has selected, God? Time to find out Shelterer's answer. A slip from God. I suspect you already guessed who Shelterer's best friend is. Uh-oh. I do hope this sad failure won't lead to any arguments. Okay. God, since you can't be your own best friend, you've not got much choice. And now, back to God. Shelterer, it's time to put yourself in the mind of the opposition. Sorry, I meant the mind of your best friend. What did your fellow player choose? So what was God's choice? Let's see. Uh-oh. Maybe shelterer isn't a true friend after all. And now for today's least surprising announcement. God's best friend is. How well do you two know each other? Do I need to make introductions? So, what topic will shelterer be facing? I think I know who has a really good chance of being made shelterer's best friend. And now we're with shelterer again. It is decision time, shelterer. Don't forget to be honest. Okay, God, it's time to guess how shelterer has ordered everything. Time to find out what order shelterer selected. I suspect you already guessed who shelterer's best friend is. Uh-oh. I do hope this sad failure won't lead to any arguments. Let's have a look at your scores. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I, for one, am having a blast. Yes, those scores were interesting, weren't they? But what will they be after this next round? If you can't be fast, be careful. It's snap decision. God, as the oldest contestant, I am sure you will. Which video game came out first? The scores are tightly packed. This question could make all the difference. Can you make it 3 in a row, Shelter? You've seen these two before, but does that help you this time? This one again, but where does it go now? This round is looking good, Shelter. Can you keep your run going? Forget those. What if we put these two together? All right, try again with these two. Will this next question separate you out? Okay, try these two instead. It's time to see those scores. Great scoring in the last round, Shelterer. Humans, let's continue to the next round. Factually challenged, rejoice. It's the round you can guess your way through. Hello, Shelterer. You are our youngest player. Engaging chat. When was Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed released? You can guess any number between these two values by sliding between them. A stroke of good fortune there, Shelterer. Nice one. When was Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice released? "1989 is not quite 1990, but it's very close, God." In which year was You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin released? Hello, Shelterer. You already know how tough it is at the top. I am sure it'll be all fun down here at the bottom. I hope that sounded convincing. When was More Than a Feeling by Boston released? You've swapped the lead again. This is Nippon-tuck. In which year was Crimea River by Justin Timberlake released? As you can see, Shelter got the least worst answer. In which year was You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party by Beastie Boys released? High, low, buy, sell. Make your guesses now. It appears the lead is shrinking. How thrilling. With our penultimate round complete, it's time to look at the current scores. Shelter is keeping hold of first place. The final round is imminent. Prepare yourselves. This is what it's all about, the big finish. Before we set this round in motion, you each need to choose your best subject from the following. Prepare yourselves for the first question. Let's go. Correct answers give you as many points as were left on the clock when you answered. Get it right on your specialist subject, and you'll get even more. Which album was released the year Shelter was born? Rostam and Zal are characters in which book? Careful God. That cushion of points can be used up all too easily. What was the age of Saddam Hussein when he died in 2006? My systems report that Shelter just got one right. Admit it, you were guessing, weren't you? And Shelter refuses to go down without a fight. Good going. The male of which species is referred to as buck? Which of these animals lays eggs to reproduce? Which album was released the year DMJ was born? In which book would you find the characters Abraham Van Helsing and Lucy Westenra? How old was H.G. Wells when he died in 1946? I wonder if I can find some tougher questions. How would you feel about seeing who can recite pi to 73 decimal places? Sow is the term used to refer to the female of which animal? Can anyone catch God? My probability indicators say unlikely. Reynard refers to a male of which species? The rap and hip hop album, the blueprint too, the gift and the curse. Okay humans, it's game over for you. Time to find out who had the finest grasp of the data. 6. Clearly I have been hacked. Well done human. You proved yourself a worthy opponent. God, you pulled it out of the bag when it really counted. I applaud your victory. Please enjoy this permitted relaxation time. I shall be waiting here for the next game. Alright quizzers, I'm leaving. But remember, I'll be back. Greetings. I am Sally, host of this, the ultimate trivia test. Please set your brain to max and remember to extinguish any live marmosets before commencing. A duel. Show no mercy. Squash your...